we appeared to have all this money, or we appeared to be rich, or we appeared, you were in the business.
It's painful. It is painful.
Yeah, the true story was I was broke as shit in an abusive relationship. Many boys are abused.
And how that screws
and how
us.
that happens.
All I've done as a father was whatever I could to help you. So I didn't want ever anybody to think that I've done anything to help you. But
as a response to this, she was getting a lot of hate.
In some ways, I was living out also one of your dreams, and I felt like I wanted to free myself of that. But we never talked about it. I was suffering. We never talked about anything. You're my dad, and I was having resentment for all the stuff we don't talk about.
Blake Lively thought she was untouchable, Hollywood's golden girl, adored by millions, with a career that seemed bulletproof. But one family's fierce loyalty just brought her to her knees, and now she's unraveling in front of the world. What started as a behind-the-scenes clash on a movie set has spiraled into a brutal takedown, with leaked secrets, family drama, and a media frenzy tearing her apart. Buckle up, because this is the story of how Blake Lively broke down, and how Justin Baldoni's family destroyed everything she'd built.
You're my dad. That's your job. It's your job to do whatever you can to do to help your son, right? So I think that there felt like this stickiness, like this.
And I think that today, and what you're going through, and the therapy that we've all been going through.
You knew it wasn't going to be easy. We're going to talk about stuff. And you showed up anyways. And you listened.
Because I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
Let's rewind to It Ends With Us, the film that set this chaos in motion. Blake Lively starred in this adaptation of Colleen Hoover's hit novel, alongside Justin Baldoni, who also directed. It was a dream project, until it wasn't. Behind the scenes, tensions simmered. Blake was riding high, fresh off a string of successes, but whispers of creative clashes with Baldoni hinted at trouble. She wanted polish, he wanted grit. It seemed like typical Hollywood drama until it exploded. By December 2024, Blake was blindsided, and the first cracks in her perfect facade appeared.
If everyone can tag Justin Baldoni to this video, it would mean the world to me.
I have been trying to reach out to you for the longest. I have everything of you.
I'm sure he'll have critics. Blake, I'm sure he brought the terminally ill person for the... I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that at all. This person was all over TikTok trying to...
Blake Lively blasted the Hollywood Reporter for its February 21st cover. Rob, can you pull up whatever the cover is? Which featured a cartoon mocking her lawsuit against it. Ends with... is this it?
Yes.
Ends with co-star Justin Baldoni calling it outrageously insulting.
That's when Blake dropped a bombshell, a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. She accused him of harassment, inappropriate behavior, like barging into her trailer while she was breastfeeding, and even orchestrating a smear campaign to ruin her. It was explosive, positioning her as a victim standing up to a powerful man. For a moment, she held the narrative, her confidence unshaken. But then came the counterpunch. Justin hit back with a defamation suit, and leaked texts flipped the script. One message showed Blake inviting Baldoni into her trailer, directly contradicting her story. The internet went wild. Was she lying? Her image started to crumble, and she was caught off guard, her composure slipping as the world watched.
And playing into every sexist trope, the illustration depicts Lively using a slingshot to fire a cell phone at Baldoni, referencing her legal team's attempt to subpoena his text messages. A spokesperson for Lively condemned the magazine, saying the Hollywood Reporter should be ashamed of itself.
Every single thing that she's claimed against him has been disproved.
So he was a class act throughout the entire process.
Yeah, and as a response to this, she was getting a lot of hate.
But the real devastation came from Justin's family, specifically his father, Sam Baldoni. He wasn't about to let Blake tear his son down. Sam took to TikTok with a video that was a masterclass in subtle destruction. A bulletin board praising Justin as compassionate and humble, paired with a caption that stabbed deep, "In a world full of Blakes and Ryans, be a Justin." No names were needed. The shade was crystal clear. It went viral, racking up millions of views and shifting public opinion overnight. For Blake, it was a gut punch. Sam's post didn't just defend Justin, it painted her as entitled, shallow, and out of touch. Insiders say she was stunned, retreating from the spotlight as the Baldoni family's loyalty turned her narrative to ashes.
And then when there was negative backlash as a result, they painted all these false allegations against Justin in order to try to get back the power in the narrative.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni didn't even need to respond.
But they're just highlighting this is a mean girl. This isn't a good person. And in response to this, what she did was she created a smear campaign against Baldoni, stating that actually he was making a smear campaign against her. And that's the reason why she had all of this negative backlash.
Hollywood didn't hold back either. The Hollywood Reporter ran a cover that twisted the knife, a cartoon of Blake slingshotting a phone at Baldoni, mocking her desperate subpoena of his texts. It was brutal, hilarious, and a public shaming she couldn't dodge. Her team cried foul, but the industry had already turned. Studios whispered about pulling back, colleagues went silent, and the media feasted on her downfall. Blake, once poised and untouchable, was now exposed and vulnerable. Sources say she broke down, public tears, cryptic social media posts hinting at despair, her carefully curated world collapsing under the weight of the Baldoni family's counterattack.
They're the ones who are seeking gag orders against Baldoni from releasing information, whereas his team is saying, nope, let's put out everything. Every single text message. They're showing they have nothing to hide. And I really love this story because, again, it speaks to this larger cultural thing of the Me Too movement is over. Yeah, they tried to completely intimidate him, and it's amazing to see that it hasn't worked.
The fallout hit hard. Blake's been spotted crying in public, her usual polish replaced by raw distress. One insider claimed she couldn't stop shaking after Sam's TikTok dropped, while a cryptic Instagram story, "Sometimes the silence screams the loudest," hinted at her inner turmoil. Her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, have gone quiet. Swift, a PR mastermind, is reportedly stepping back, and Reynolds isn't rushing to her defense. Alone and overwhelmed, Blake's empire is in ruins. The Baldoni family didn't just fight back. They destroyed her, piece by piece, leaving her to face a fire she lit herself.
It'll be very difficult for anyone to ever work with Blake Lively ever again.
Because if they would have won against him, a guy whose dream was to be a Hollywood actor, producer, director, they could have crushed his career if they would have won.
The more time we got to spend with Blake Lively, the less we liked her, because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
Where does this leave Blake Lively? Her career's teetering on the edge. Studios are rethinking projects. Too much baggage, too much risk. Old clips have resurfaced, painting her as a control freak who bulldozes anyone in her way. Meanwhile, Justin's gaining sympathy, his star rising as hers fades. She tried to bury him, but the Baldoni family's unity flipped the script. Hollywood's a brutal place. If you're not marketable, you're out. And right now, Blake's a liability. Her breakdown a warning to anyone who underestimates the power of family loyalty.
Blake Lively has got a bit of a God complex.
Her complaint, she said things like he walked in on her breastfeeding. She said things like he chastised her for her weight. All of this has been debunked by the text messages provided by Baldoni. She, in fact, messaged him saying, hey, I'm breastfeeding right now, but come into my trailer. Let's go ahead and run some lines.
Blake Lively thought she could outmaneuver Justin Baldoni, but she never saw his family coming. Sam's TikTok was the match that lit her world on fire, and now she's breaking down as the flames spread. Her lawsuits faltering, her reputation's shredded, and the industry's moving on. Can Blake Lively bounce back from this public meltdown, or has the Baldoni family dealt a fatal blow to her career? This isn't just a scandal, it's a Hollywood implosion, and the final chapter's still unwritten. Stick around because the next twist could change everything.